Hey everybody, and welcome back to Quiett Gentleman Entertainment. I cannot remember what I'm doing or where I'm at.
You're the
Today we're
worst.
doing Masks of Halloween from Miskatonic University and Chaosium. This is going to be Monograph number 0347, which you'll notice on your screen there. I hope I'm motion. No, you can't even see my hand. Oh, no isolated hands. Sorry, my fault. Right. Nobody tipped for that.
And your own camera looks flipped to you, so it's on your other side.
Whatever. Hey, I'm Matt, and I'm running the game tonight or today. I'm words are hard. We're gonna try this again. I'm joined by some people that are new to this channel, but have other stuff going on. By the way, guys, we're gonna have you plug that here in a second. I forgot to mention that beforehand. But we'll start with Roxy so they have a second to think through that. Roxy, you're playing Lowella Rankin.
I am playing Lowella Rankin, and she is an antique dealer born in Seattle but now lives in San Francisco. And she is a fairly attractive young senior. She doesn't like to be called a senior lady, but she still can keep it real with the young kids. But yeah, she likes to deal in. Stop it, Matt. She likes to deal in all the antiques and curiosities that one might be interested in, and has a thriving business. But she finds herself, for some reason, in New York, which I'm sure she'll find out what that is shortly.
You're gonna show up to the group and be like, "Hello, fellow young peoples."
Hey, you know what? She dresses in her flapper outfit, and she's keeping it real. She looks like Diana Rigg. You can't. The young people are fine. They think she's pretty cool.
Sure. And then Shawn is playing Marcus Winthrop.
Yep, Marcus Winthrop. He is he's special. He comes from a well-to-do family, and he is brilliant, but he is not focused and does not do well in a normal classroom setting. And let's be honest, he looks like, well, his family would prefer to have had a more attractive child to be their main inheritance breadwinner, but they're stuck with him.
Okay. And Roxy and Shawn are on our Illuminated Page show. That's every other Thursday. So not this coming Thursday, but the Thursday after that, where we also play Call of Cthulhu through the Masks of Nyarlathotep storyline is what we're doing right now. Up next is Steven, and you were playing Kodi Banks, correct?
Yes, I am a agency detective that was hired by these four lovely people to protect them during this journey. So my proper title would be Agent Kodi Banks.
Fantastic. Appropriately done. And you and Roxy are also on the Growing Shadows show on the opposite Thursdays from Illuminated Page. So those are what, 7 p.m.? No, those are 6 p.m.
Yeah, it's the same time. It's the same as our Illuminated Page show.
And joining us for the first time is Wes. He'll be playing Reginald Appleworth. Tell us about your character, Wes.
Well, he is incredibly talented, but not very skilled. And that's because he spent most of his life on yachts and hunting, quail or whatever in the, New England forests. He is not eccentric. He's just correct. And that's pretty much it.
Nice. I like that.
And Wes, you run podcasts for 12-Sided Stories, correct?
Right. We do all sorts of different systems. Right now we're doing Heliotrope, which is a sci-fi system. But you can go and they run for usually 10 to 20 episodes, and we have a lot of fun. It's if you want to look it up, it's 12 sided stories on Twitter, and 12 Sided Stories is our website as well. So
fantastic. And then last we have Bloo, who is playing Beatrice Rumsfeld. Tell us about your character, Blue.
My character is Beatrice Rumsfeld, a young debutante society lady of means who essentially lounges about, does art, and does whatever she would like in her free time because she comes from money and she can do that. So,
So we're all
that should
definitely
be.
playing in a fantasy world today.
Yes.
All right, so we will get into a little bit to that, into the story. Oh, I'm sorry, Blue. You have your own streaming where you do streaming.
I do.
I don't know, several days a week.
I do. I am what you tentatively call a full-time streamer. So that is, I somehow stumbled backwards into that nonsense, and I do many fun things for myself.
Yeah. I watched you play through Hades the other night. It was actually quite a bit of fun. And
It's a very good game.
A game that I don't think that I would be any good at, but I don't need things frantic and scary. So that's not my style. Yeah, we've got some stuff coming up this week. Tuesday's going to be Isolated Tomes, or Tomes of Isolation. I do that every time. Tomes of Isolation. I'll be running Vampire the Masquerade Night Road, which is from Choice Games by Choice of Games.
Choice of Games. I'm going to write you an
Thank
agenda
you.
next time.
Listen, I have a list of things I'm supposed to say, just not what I'm actually supposed to say, just notes that I'm supposed to remember.
Okay.
We've got channel points called Cthulhu's. Those are going to be your little magnifying glass down there underneath the chat bar. You can donate those to us today. There are a couple options there. You can highlight your message at any time. You do that as much as you want. You can make dice get re-rolled by donating 500 Cthulhu's to us. That's anybody's dice. My dice, their dice, doesn't matter. You can do that at any time. We're gonna skip the luck today, so no luck bumps because honestly,
no, yeah,
there's only so much luck you guys are gonna need, and we'll get to luck. I know our players are like, "What's luck?" We don't have any of that. We will here in a minute. So this week is Isolated Tomes of Isolation and Growing Shadows, and then I will be streaming Solasta, Crown of the Magister. Which is a new game that just came out from Tactical Adventures. It's pretty solid. I played last night for a couple hours, and I like it. It's very much a dungeon crawl, build a party kind of thing, kind of like Baldur's Gate. And I really liked what I was seeing. Except that I kept forgetting that I need light. Light is important, or you can't see the tunnels you can crawl through.
That's why you always create half elves and elves.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Like everybody but humans have dark vision, and then the one time I really needed light, that character was human. So, we do have a Cthulhu challenge going on right now for a custom NPC for this very game. We are, I think, like 87% of the way there. We are real close. So if you can donate Cthulhu's today or tomorrow or some other time, that'd be fantastic. That will get us closer to where we want to be. So I think we're gonna go into the intro, Roxy, and then we'll come back and touch on rules and teach a couple people how to play real quick, and then go from there.
Alrighty.
Can you feel it? That's fear. If you expect to wake up from this nightmare, think again. This isn't a dream. Sometimes the things you see in the shadows are more than just shadows.
All right, we're back.
Well, so much for sleep. Thanks.
Whatever
I do want to
can
thank
do to help
John Thompson, Roxy's husband, who's also on our Illuminated page game, for putting that together, because that is nightmare fuel. Thanks. So We're ready for a fun, happy game of Call of Cthulhu that definitely will not involve murder or insanity loss at all.
Of
I
course.
think the first thing that we want to do is let's touch on luck. So we have a luck stat. Currently, no one has any luck. We're going to roll 3d6 and we're going to multiply that by 5, and that will be your individual luck score. So go ahead and do that for me, and then we'll touch on the character sheets and exactly what we're doing with them.
Bad. All right, I'm good with 45 points of luck.
That's not a bad number, especially for a
No.
one shot. That's really solid. Like you can
Yeah.
spend some serious luck here
It's
and still be all right.
3d6 times 5?
Yes, that is correct.
55. I can't drive.
Nice.
55.
Ugh, 36.
How'd you get 36 by multiplying by 5?
12. Or no, 12 times 5. Excuse me.
60.
60? Yeah. No,
Yes.
that's actually not bad. I can't math. Excuse me.
The ladies of
No,
Math
you're
is
all right.
hard.
I got 70.
Well, get
Oh,
out.
there you go.
I also got 70.
Yeah, see?
Well, there goes my whole ladies of the stream thing.
Hey. So that the luck score, you're going to be able to spend those points to better your rolls. So if you look at your character sheet, you're going to see some characteristics up on top. Strength, dexterity, intelligence. Those numbers in the big numbers are going to be your scores. And then the little numbers are going to be a half and a fifth. So if you roll under the big number, that's a regular success. Half is a hard success. A fifth is an extreme success. And if you roll a 0-1, that is a critical success. That's the basics of how the game is played. I've literally explained everything you probably need to know, except that there are a couple other rules that will come into play later. However, you're all going to notice that you have sanity points down below that. Some of you have a lot. Some of you have less. Actually, most of you have 65 is the lowest we have in the group, and that's still pretty solid for sanity. Something to keep in mind, though, is if you lose a fifth of your sanity in any hour period in the game, in-game hour, not like we're playing for a couple hours, like in-game an hour, that is what's considered a break of sanity. And we'll discuss that when it happens, because it will depend directly on what we do, and what caused that. Under hit points, you're going to notice that most people have some. Some of you have far less than others. Some of you have 17 and can take a punch or 12. If you take damage, you'll just mark it off like normal. If you take half of your total damage, and this is actually on the second sheet you have on the bottom left for a quick reference here. If you take half or more from one attack, it's a major wound. If you would take a major wound while you have a major wound, you are then dying. Or yes, if you would reach 0 and already have a major wound, you are then dying. If you reach 0 without a major wound, if you get 1,000 paper cuts, you're just going to be unconscious. So that's pretty. Uh-oh, did I lose you guys?
No, you're still here.
Nope.
Okay. Sorry, my phone rang and it rang through on my iPad. Sorry about that. So if you go to 0 hit points without a major wound, you just fall unconscious. And then we may or may not have to worry about healing, but basically you recover 1 hit point per day. And then if you have a major wound, you'll roll at the end of the week for that, but we won't get that far. There will not be a week's worth of gameplay on this, I don't think. So all of your investigator skills have a stat, have numbers next to them. Some of them have very low numbers. Like most people, I think all of you have a counting of 5. If you want to, oh no, I guess the dilettante. No, several of you don't have an accounting of 5. Wow.
I have a counting of 45.
Yeah, look at you.
To better calculate the number of cultists. No, I mean.
So this is going to work the same way as your characteristics. You just want to roll under those numbers like normal. Because I feel the question is going to be asked at some point, how do I stab something with a sword? You're going to look for your fighting melee, which you'll notice you don't have. And then we'll go off the base of whatever that weapon is, which is usually 25%. which is pretty terrible. Some of you are good at guns. I'm not going to say who that is, but one of you is here to protect the others. So hopefully that one. So like the firearms, it's under firearms, and then each type of firearm kind of falls in its own category. So typically handgun and then rifle shotgun are going to be the two that we see a lot of. Anything beyond that is going to be specialized skills that you're going to start off probably at a pretty low percentage. Some of you have damage bonuses. That only applies to physical attacks. So in the bottom right-hand corner of combat, or what is a combat information, there's damage bonus, which for most of you, I'm betting is 0. No, I guess not. I guess the dilettante. Wow. Man, I really did not pay attention when I built these characters. I'm super good at this, guys.
Yeah, if we need to make some changes, now would be a good time to
No,
make some
no, it's fine. Your damage bonus, honestly, if you guys start punching things, you need all of the damage bonus you can get. Take it. It's only going to help you. Call of Cthulhu is a brutal system, so keep that in mind. Your build is kind of is how big you are, kind of how solid you are. So a build of 1 or 2 is actually pretty good for a human. But things like a bust will have a build of like 5 or 10, depending on the size. And then dodge is going to be very important, hopefully, or hopefully not. So your dodge is also listed down there on the bottom right. Couple of things to keep in mind when we go into combat. All combat rolls are contested, so both sides will roll. You cannot spend luck on contested rolls. It's just not an option. In combat, we will discuss what your options are, but just keep in mind to pay attention to that because it gets kind of rough. To give you an idea of how rough it gets, Papin, you got the most hit points at 17.
Yeah.
If I shot a military rifle at you, it does 2d6 plus 7, and it's very likely that I would kill you with 1 shot. And in this game, there's no leveling up, so you will have 17 hit points until one of your characteristics goes up somehow, and that's very unlikely to happen. So keep that in mind. I think like the poor Wes has 11 hit points, so if he sneezes really hard, he might crack a rib and get a major wound.
Well, that's why I left
be
boxing,
careful.
because I've got a bonus in my damage, and I boxed for a while, but then I found that I bled a lot from the face, so I had to stop.
Found out you had that glass jaw, 1 punch go down. Yeah.
So just keep in mind that things get a little rough. Technically, by the rules, there is no way to gain hit points back from a single roll at the moment that it happens. We're going to flub that a little bit. If somebody gets hurt and you want to use first aid on them, go right ahead, but you're going to have to succeed at first aid, and none of you are really good at it. So congratulations. This is a horror game. There are going to be horror elements. This is both a warning to my players, which I hope they understood beforehand, but also our viewers. If horror things are something you're concerned about, might want to skip this game, honestly. There shouldn't be anything outside of creepy occult things and violence. But those are the warnings that I would give out for the game. Like, that's something to keep in mind. I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions about rules before we get too deep into this?
I'm fairly familiar. I've tried to die in this game probably in more. I probably tried to die in more times than sessions I've played. That seems to be the way my characters like to go.
Yeah, I mean, in our other game, we've had one character go insane. No, two characters go insane.
Yeah.
Hey,
and my character's teetering on the edge.
It took 13 episodes for those characters to go insane, which is pretty dang good.
Yep.
So,
I guess my only question is, I see magic points on the sheet.
I don't think any of us have spells.
But I have a lot of them.
Magic points. So think of magic points kind of as a they're not sanity, so it's not your grip on reality. But it is a mental energy. So there may be times in this game that you will take magic point damage, and if you go to 0 in magic points, it doesn't necessarily knock you unconscious, but it leaves you feeling very lethargic, and it just doesn't, it doesn't allow you to go much farther than that. If you have a chance to use magic points in the game, I'll let you know, but I very, very doubt that that's going to happen. You guys are going to have to go way off the rails, and I'm not saying that won't be a possibility. I just don't see that happening.
Well,
There are 2 more things I did need to touch on rules. I'm sorry. Move rate. Everybody's got a move rate between 7 and 9. Obviously, the higher the move rate, the better. And those will only be compared when people are running and that kind of stuff. Hey, thanks, Shawn, for giving out a sub, and thanks, Wes, for subbing with that free sub. So that's a thing to keep in mind, is that movement rate will be compared to other things that have a movement rate. And then you can push rolls. If, for instance, you're trying to do something and you have failed at the roll, this is not something that we do very often in the Illuminated Page game, but this is an option. You can then try and justify how you would still be able to do it and roll again, with the understanding that that second roll could have dire consequences. Will have dire consequences if you fail. You cannot push combat or sanity rolls, but any other roll you can do that with. So if it's a situation where you feel like you could, if you're trying to fast talk somebody into something and it fails that first roll, you can say, well, listen, I'm gonna pull out some money and I'm gonna try and give that to them and see if we can if I can bribe them into this, and then re-roll your fast talk. I might even give you a bonus to that, but if you fail, there is a dire consequence that will directly relate to how you explained why you could push it. Thanks, Papin, for subscribing. We really appreciate that. So keep that in mind. And then there is money on your sheet. Keep in mind, this is 1926 money. So while some of you only have $70 in cash, that's a lot of freaking money. Like we're talking like quarter meals here. Like you're pretty set. Some of you have a lot of money. Like $350 is a lot of freaking money. So yeah, that's the basics of the other one. Hey, stay tuned. Shawn's going to give out some more gift subscriptions. I appreciate that. You can overtake Roxy as a #1 gifter.
What?
Just so you know.
I'm trying.
Just
I was up
I'm
there
not
for a
saying-
while.
I'm not saying you two should compete, but
challenge
please compete, because that's
Who else did you gift a sub
definitely
to?
not benefiting us monetarily at all. So yeah, that's the basics of the game. It's a super simple game to play. Realistically, I would say that until probably next week, we won't see a lot of rolls. We'll see a roll here and there, but we won't see a ton. It'll be next week, towards the culmination of the story, that we'll start to see everything kind of get tense, and it probably will. So, the 4 of you, Beatrice, Reginald, Marcus, and Lowella, have been friends for years. You've been going to society events. You've been spending time being idle and rich. Even though some of you have, like Lowella, you have a job. You don't really have a job. You just occasionally, you go places on vacation and you're like, oh, this is old and pretty, I'll buy it. Or you facilitate that kind of thing.
I go to estate sales, and
Sure.
I find things that I sometimes organize estate sales, and there are antiques roadshows. Nothing as I have foreseen in the future, but there are some.
So Beatrice, you're an artist, but maybe you paint a couple of things a year, or maybe you work a couple of pieces out a year, but you don't really spend a lot of time focused on that. Shawn, you're just a weirdo. You really are into your occult stuff. That's really what that comes down to.
But I don't feel comfortable at the society events. My family makes me go. the four of you, graciously let me in and be a friend, and you found that, I am odd, but my heart's in the right place for the most part.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
know.
and Wes, you don't specialize in any one thing.
Nope.
You're just you just got money and don't, you do things from day to day, but don't necessarily, you're not involved in the business.
Why do
Your father
things
set
when you
that
can
up.
hire people to do
That's
them?
right. You're the financier.
Yeah.
So
I just,
it is fall. It's getting towards the end of October, and Wes, you invited your friends, your three friends, out to go with you to upstate New York and to see. You've heard of some of the smaller towns are going to do some Halloween festivals. This should be a gas. I'm going to try and talk in 1920s parlance, but that's not going to happen very often. But also,
it shall be
rich
the
people
bee's
can get
knees.
That's right.
rich people do get robbed from time to time. Plus, it would be nice to have a driver. So you've hired Agent Banks from the Pinkertons. You've worked with him before, and not that he's on retainer, but when your family hires somebody, they hire him. They know him. He's good at his job. He's not really done a lot for you, but that's good. Like, and Kodi, you've
Historically,
gotten
the
to know.
Pinkertons are known for being a great organization, so I'm sure he'll be
Yes,
great.
yes. Kodi, you've gotten to know Reginald. You've met his friends before. You know his family. Basically, this is just like however long they want to hire you, kind of a little vacation for you. You get paid pretty well, especially in 1926 money. You get paid really well, and you've got to carry some bags occasionally and just walk around with them, and they feed you, which means usually better food than what you would want to buy. And they take you to events that, you can sneak a drink or two as long as you don't get too crazy. It's not that bad. And especially given that it's Prohibition era, sneaking a drink or two means that you can actually drink without having to worry about where it is and where you're at and if the cops are going to show up. Because if the cops did show up, Reginald's going to pay them off anyway, so it doesn't matter. Might as well just drink. So, you guys have
Cheers.
headed to up. Yeah, yes, yes. You guys have headed to upstate New York, where a small town called Willowton is located. There's no actual Willowton, New York City or New York. This is a fictional city that has been slapped into the game. This is very much what Call of Cthulhu does. They don't put it in any one town, so they don't have to worry about whether or not it fits the things or not.
I think it would be
Willowton-
more ominous if you said there is no Willowton, New York anymore.
Now. Yes. Willowton is a town of maybe 4,000 people. A lot of it is farming. The area is known for some apple orchards, a lot of corn fields, and that kind of thing. But keeping in mind that in 1926, Halloween is making a transition to what we know today to be this fun, let's go trick-or-treating thing. It used to be a night of actual pranks and a little bit of terror when like kids would just kind of run rampant in towns and do whatever they wanted and cause a lot of problems. So this Halloween festival is kind of a transition so that they can make it a little more family friendly. And so this idea that the town is throwing it, and it has to do with like there's going to be a lot of activities around it, and there's still some spooky stuff that goes on, is interesting enough. This is also not too far outside of the seance craze that went around in the late 18 and early 1900s. World War I kind of put a dampener on that because there was a lot of death there, and the funness, quote unquote, of death kind of disappeared. But there's still a lot of whereas we like nowadays we would think, oh, aliens and dinosaurs, and like all of it kind of ties into the occult at that time. That's where the mindset of the people are. So, Roxy, are you talking? Because I can't hear you.
I do love a good seance, I have to be honest.
That's fair. That's good. Kind of arrive in town. probably didn't think too far ahead and even look to see if there was a hotel, but it's very clear there's not. You just a quick drive through town, and by quick drive through, I mean we're talking maybe a total of 8 streets kind of crisscross through the town. There are a couple of diners. You see a tavern. You're sure that you've seen little signs for boarding houses, which not too far out of the question. You weren't expecting, a Ritz-Carlton or a Waldorf Astoria here, so staying at one of those wouldn't be bad. But this is going to be October 30th, which is Saturday. And then, so today and tomorrow are going to be the 2 big days of this festival. So it kind of gives you a chance to walk around. You come into town after a few hours of driving from New York City, keeping in mind that 1, this is upstate New York, but 2, there are no interstates. And while the road into Willowton is not nearly as rough as you would expect, it is still not paved. It is definitely paved, but it is not what you would consider a smooth ride. Also keeping in mind that your car probably does not have anything near the modern day suspensions. So you feel every bump and every pothole and every bit of everything. So there are several new roadsides posted around directing visitors towards the town. The Willowton itself is rather handsome, and the local trees are in their full autumn colors. You do see townspeople out and about, and they seem friendly. They wave as though, you're probably not the only car in town, but they don't see cars quite like yours very often. We're looking at a lot of Model A's here. And you do see some horse-drawn carriages still, but you're riding in what I would expect a wealthier person to drive at the time. So it is very clear that you're not from town.
Perhaps a Rolls-Royce limousine?
Yes, if that was a thing in 1926.
It most definitely was.
Okay, then yeah, probably a larger vehicle like that. So Willowton has a number of restaurants, just little diners, quaint shops, and then there are comfortable places to stay. It looks like most of these are relatively new. Other places of note that you saw while kind of getting your bearings of the town was a sheriff's office, a local library, the Willowton Tavern, the Black House, and then Old Man Johnson's Farm, which kind of sits on the outskirts of town. You guys find yourselves kind of stopping for lunch, parked the car near one of the boarding houses, planning to eventually grab a room for the night. And when you went into the diner, it is exactly what you would expect from a diner. It's a waitress and a cook, maybe 10 tables at most, a couple of stools at the counter. There are people in there. It's definitely busy, but not crowded. And there's plenty of room for you guys to sit. When you sit down, a woman comes over, the waitress comes over, tag says Joyce on it. And she says, "Oh, howdy, folks. What can I get for you today?"
Oh, hey, Joyce. Yeah, can I get a coffee and a Reuben?
We can definitely do a coffee and a Reuben. I don't think it'll be as good as your New York Reubens, but we do a pretty good job here.
I
Anything
mean, we're
else for you
still in New
folks?
York, right?
Well, yes, but not quite your Manhattan qualities.
So Marcus is not quite meeting her eye, and I just kind of mumble, "What kind of pie do you have?"
Oh, we've got some good pumpkin pie and some apple, and I think we've got a little bit left of a meringue.
I'll try the pumpkin, and can I have a glass of milk, please?
Of course, sweetie.
Thank you.
Anything else for you folks?
Scrambled eggs and coffee, my dear.
Of course. Would you like some bacon or maybe some sausage?
Bacon would be lovely.
Fantastic.
I would love a cup of coffee. And you don't happen to serve cornmeal mush here, do you? This is a quaint little town, and I've been in other quaint little towns, and they always have a delectable cornmeal mush. Do you have something like that that I could possibly partake of?
I would be happy to bring you some cornmeal mush. Have you now you said quaint little town. Have you had Johnny cakes? We have some fantastic Johnny cakes.
Johnny cakes, is that
They're
a
like-
local delicacy?
They're like pancakes, but they're made out of cornmeal instead. They've got a little bit of the same sweetness, but a little different texture. I like them. I like them a lot.
You know, I find that I have a bit of an aversion to wheat, so if it's cornmeal, yeah, bring them on. I would love to have it.
Okay, well, we'll bring you some Johnny cakes then.
Fantastic. I
And
like my cornmeal mush with butter and syrup, by the way, if you don't mind.
I will bring both of those out.
I'll try
And,
your
anything-
Johnny cakes as well.
Fantastic. Well, you folks get settled. We'll be out with just that in just a few minutes. I just want to. The chamber has really been pushing it, so I just wanted to drop off this flyer. You don't need to really pay it much attention, but I just want to make sure you saw that we are having a fall festival, a Halloween festival. Roxy, could I get you to throw handout 1 up on the screen?
I forgot the
Can everybody
handouts.
see that? Oh, did you not do those?
I forgot the handouts. I am so sorry.
Don't worry about it. No big deal. Not a problem at all. Don't worry about
I'll,
it.
I'll fix that later. I am so sorry. It
Don't worry about it.
completely slipped my mind.
So she puts down a little flyer. She she wrote everything down on her little thing. She walks behind the counter, tears it off, and spins the little ticket taker, and the big burly man, the big burly cook in the back pulls it down with no hairnet. He's at least wearing a shirt, so that's good. He starts in on the order. Looks like you guys have caught kind of the tail end, so yours is the only order he's got right now. But the flyer says, the Willowton Chamber of Commerce is proudly to welcome you to the first annual Willowton Halloween Festival. Join us for spooky fun at Old Man Johnson's farm all weekend long. Pumpkin and apple picking, cornrow maze, and a Halloween night costume party located at the south end of Ashland Avenue. It's open from 11 a.m. to sundown. Other special activities throughout the town are dinner with Edgar Allan Poe at the Maple Leaf Inn on Friday, October 29th. I'm sorry, that's Saturday, October 30th at 8 p.m. Enjoy a fine 3-course meal and dessert while your host, Edgar Allan Poe, as portrayed by thespian Simon Branch, entertains diners with some of his best-known tales and poems of dread and terror. Reservations suggested. Ghost Story Competition, hosted by the Willowton Public Library. Saturday.
Uh-oh.
Matt froze.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
We lost you, Matt.
He missed his sanity check.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
It's all over.
It's going to look a little
Sorry.
wonky for a second, but as soon
Sorry
as
about
his
that.
camera
Hopefully I'll
pops
pop back
in,
up here in a second with my camera. Oh, I got to hit the camera button, don't I?
that would help.
Stupid.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, now we're all back in our places.
All right.
Musical chairs.
Good deal. Super helpful, iPad. What did I cut out at?
Ghost stories at the library.
Oh, good deal. Okay. So the ghost stories at the public library, that's Saturday. So today at 3 p.m., come listen to the spooky tales or share one of your own. Prizes awarded for best tales. There's an apple bobbing contest. Join us at the Old Country Store on Saturday, October 30th at 7 p.m. for this fun holiday tradition. Prizes awarded. There's a walking tour of haunted Willowton setting out from Willowton Tavern on Saturday, October 30th at 11 p.m. Join a local historian as he conducts a tavern-lit tour of Willowton's most haunted
Are
locations,
these all things
including...
we can do?
What now?
Are these all things we can do?
Yes, absolutely. This includes the Black House, former home of Virginia Black. Refreshments included. And then there's a Halloween parade. Starts noon tomorrow. The parade starts at the Maple Leaf Inn and ends at Old Man Johnson's farm with several treat stops along the way. All this brought to you by the Willowton Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, how exciting.
I do believe we came on the right weekend, friends. This is going to be quite an experience. I'm so excited.
I'm very excited too. Roughing it for a weekend is going to be wonderful.
Yeah,
Roughing it.
I got a question though. What's a thespian?
An actor.
Oh, why don't they just put actor on the flyer?
This is
Thespian is a more classical way of saying it.
It is, and this is clearly this is a town of great class and respectability. They have to use the this is the great state of New York. They must speak with a certain air.
Though I am concerned about our cook. I do not feel that he has ever read The Jungle. Maybe that would help him with his
Upton
being
St.
able to
Clair.
keep his Upton St. Clair. Yes, it came out years ago, and look, he barely has a shirt on. I don't know.
Look, Reggie. Let me tell you a little bit of something. The dirtier the kitchen, the better the food. That's just like a rule of thumb.
Ooh.
No matter where you go.
I
shall have to take your advice on that, I guess.
From what I've
It
read,
is
that's not necessarily the case.
It's delightfully rough, I think. Very, very interesting and homely.
I mean, if you find something questionable in your breakfast, just remember that when they make chicken wings, sometimes those little pin feathers get stuck on there and you can't get them off. Just overlook it. I'm sure it's all the rage around here. It may be a delicacy someday.
So after a few minutes of you guys chatting back and forth, Joyce comes back over with a tray. She's balancing everything very, very well. She sets all your food down. Did we lost somebody, didn't we?
We lost Wes.
That's all right. He'll come back.
1 second.
Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe Cthulhu claimed his first victim. Nope.
Okay, Reggie. Cthulhu did not claim Reggie.
Yeah, no. Reggie's back. Thank goodness.
Sorry.
No worries.
No, you're all right. So she sets the food down. The Johnny cakes are kind of exactly what you would expect. They look like pancakes, but they're a little more cornbread coloring. And it is actually a New England thing that if you guys have traveled through Massachusetts and Maine and that area, they're more prevalent there. But upstate New York is not too far off. So,
Okay.
So I forgot where I was going with this. This is a really good day for my brain to shut off and not work right. So yeah, you guys sit there. She brings your food back out. She says, "Now, is there anything else I can bring you folks? Any questions you have about the town?"
No, your flyer seemed to encapsulate what we're here for. It looks very, very fun.
Yes, the Halloween festival should be fantastic.
I have just one question about the flyer. Who is Virginia Black? What makes her house so
Virginia
important?
Black. Let Matt find that in this module because I know it's important. There we go. Well, Virginia Black was one of the women that fled the Salem witch trials. I'm not too familiar with much more than that, but it's quite a story around here. And if you went on the tour tonight, I'm sure that she'll be brought up, and you'll get to hear all about her.
All right, that
Fantastic.
satisfies my curiosities.
Marcus definitely perks up at the mention of the witch trials and definitely is interested in taking the tour.
That does sound quite fun. We must indeed go there as soon as we may.
Does anybody else happen to be interested in possibly going to the Edgar Allan Poe dinner? I would really enjoy hearing some of those stories recounted by an actor.
I love the theater. I am definitely interested.
Joyce, do you know, is it said reservations? Are they have they all been filled up yet, or is there still going to be openings?
I'm not positive. I would send someone over perhaps soon. Um, I'm sure that we can get that work. You can get that worked out for the five of you. But yeah, it did seem that several of the locals were very interested in that, and Simon is fantastic in his portrayals. He has done several readings at the library, and I've been very impressed by the ones I've seen.
Well, we must go. I think it would be a wonderful time, and maybe we'll do the tour first and then go to dinner.
The dinner. I think of the flyer, and I pull the flyer over to look at it. I think the tour happened at 11. I thought the dinner was earlier, but I'm not quite seeing it.
The dinner is earlier, so the dinner is at 8.
Oh,
Oh, so we could do dinner and then go on the tour.
that sounds like a good plan.
It looks
Yes,
like
and-
they organized this thing to where we could probably hit just about everything if we manage our time correct.
Yeah, the only problem you might have is the apple bobbing contest starts at 7, and you know how those get filled up pretty quick. So that might interfere with your dinner.
I didn't know that. I've actually never been to an apple bobbing contest before. Is that popular?
I will say.
Here?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, that was Matt the keeper being facetious.
I thought you were being Joyce.
I think Joyce is pulling your leg. Apple bobbing contests are certainly fun for a certain clientele, but I don't know.
Which we are not of.
No, we do not share watery saliva with our peers for fun in a public setting.
That's
Oh,
very
come,
gauche.
Lowella. That sounds so delightfully rough and rustic. You must live a little.
There's a level of rustic we need to avoid, though. Saliva and water is one of them, I feel. I don't know.
I mean, it is a bit of a game for children, but, you know, I could...
As long
could
as
go
there
for
were
some
no
apples.
children in the partaking at the same time, perhaps that we were, I feel as though that might be somewhat inappropriate. It's just strange.
I'm okay with watching from afar. I have better ways to pick up apples.
Yeah, wouldn't you just hire someone?
Yes.
I mean,
No, but
honestly,
picking up apples, and he looks over at Kodi.
honestly, you're saving yourself, Reginald, from a serious bout of mononucleosis. If we had to be quite honest.
I just have a mouthful of Reuben.
I'm like $1. $1 pays for an apple, right? And Cody's like, yeah, absolutely.
Just one apple.
Just one apple is $1. Or
How much could it possibly cost? $10?
Yeah, I mean, really. Cody's saving for a very nice life later.
Did I
Just
accidentally?
pulls out a $10 bill.
Yeah.
Why
Did
don't
I-
they have a coin for this yet?
Did I accidentally put together the Bluths to go to upstate New York? Like, this is going to be great.
Now, I don't know if anybody else is interested, but I would most like I definitely would like to go to the library at some point today. Check up on the local history, maybe listen to the ghost stories.
I am absolutely open for whatever we can get done in our time here. How long are we staying, Reginald? Did you arrange for us to be here for the entire weekend?
That was the thought. It seemed like there was a lot going on, and I wanted to get away from the city for a while. And Manhattan's getting a bit boring right now, so no shows going on, and just figured we'd come up here for a little bit.
I think this was a wonderful, wonderful idea.
Well, thank you. I now I probably don't care because I know that I can pay people off, but at some point I'm going to pull a flask out and add it to my coffee. Just a little touch and put it away, and figure that if anybody has a problem with it, I can financially tell them not to have a problem with it.
Lowella just
you-
slightly pushes her coffee mug without breaking eye contact with anybody else in the room. She just kind of nudges her mug over a little closer when she hears that sound of that metal cap just being unscrewed.
You do get a couple of eyes on you. Nothing bad, just like
Oh, we're
Oh.
doing that now?
Oh, those kind of people have come into town.
and it is about that time that a sheriff's deputy walks in. And he's greeted. You hear everybody. You hear Joyce say, "Oh, Steve, good to see you. Grab a seat at the counter. I'll bring out your usual." And he looks around, smiles, and waves at everybody. Sees the five of you, and the flask as you're kind of putting it away, and like gives you a second look, and then just kind of shrugs his shoulders, shakes his head, and sits down at the counter.
Excellent.
My kind of town, Reginald. You have outdone yourself this time.
Well, I'm sure that there's moonshine stills all around here that are much worse than what's in this flask, so I'm not much worried.
Ooh,
I did see a
think we'll find
tavern
some?
when we were driving in, so they got to be selling something in there.
Do you think that maybe there'll be
Not
one of them
just-
stills here at this festival?
Oh, that would be lovely.
I feel it's easier to enjoy rustic settings when you're a bit inebriated.
I
It could
mean,
be fun.
I feel that way. I feel that way about most settings, quite frankly.
Me too.
You know the type of parties that we often get invited to. It is not. If you're not drinking, you just might as well wish you did.
Maybe that's why I don't enjoy those parties anymore. Maybe that's why I don't enjoy those parties as I'm sipping my milk.
Oh.
What's funny is he's like, Reginald's fine with, oh, this came from a bathtub. All right, whatever. But he won't do apple bobbing.
Exactly. I'm here for
I'll drink
moonshine.
grain alcohol, but I won't. Apple bobbing's out of the way.
I'll risk blindness, but sticking my head in water. Oh no!
Right.
Old man
You're that white
McGluckin
lightning.
with
I'm
his
fine.
old man McGluckin with his 3 teeth and his long ass beard, and he's handing you a bottle. You're like, oh, this is great. No, I trust this completely.
Well, he has standards, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I mean, he's still got 3 of his teeth.
I
So
don't want any faux pas.
you eat your lunch. It is flavorful, a little on the heavy side, just like what you would expect from a good diner, and kind of sit and sip your coffee for a little bit longer. Joyce comes back and refreshes your coffee a couple of times, offers more milk to Marcus. Sorry, character names are hard when you don't remember your characters. And kind of, it's just a pleasant environment. Eventually, the deputy comes over and he says, "Good to see you folks here." It's very clear that he is young, maybe 20, if he's lucky. He is not carrying a gun. He has a flashlight on his belt, and that's it. If that tells you anything about this town. He says, "Welcome to Willowton, folks. My name is Deputy Ludd. If there's anything I can do for you while you're here, just let me know. I'd be happy to help you out. But should be a nice little quiet weekend and quite a bit to enjoy. Is there anything that I can do for you folks while you're here?"
Is this the first weekend that you guys have done this? I mean, is this an annual event or?
This is the first annual event. I think that the Chamber of Commerce is hoping to make it a yearly event. From the rooms rented out at the boarding houses, I would expect that's going to be the case. We've got people coming in from some of the other towns around here, and then I take it you folks are from. Are you from Boston? Or are you from New York?
New York.
Well,
Okay, well then,
I'll tell you. Do you happen to have a reward or anything for the furthest travel to come to your sweet Halloween festival? Because I make my residence in San Francisco, and I would say that I've come quite a long way.
that's a good suggestion for the Chamber of Commerce. I'll have to tell them that. That's a
Maybe
great idea.
Maybe I'll get the key to the city, y'all, if I travel the farthest just to visit their festival.
But we don't have a door. Why would you need a key?
Oh, you go on.
It'll be a good idea to probably hold this once a year. Good for the economy, which is great now and will be probably great forever.
As a quick side note or question, did Reginald have the forethought to actually get us one of these boarding rooms?
No.
Excellent. So I know this is a busy weekend for you. Where could we get lodging?
Oh, there are a couple of boarding houses. There is a bed and breakfast, but I believe they are full. You might check Old Man Johnson's farm. The Glovers out there, they've got some rooms, probably above the barn though. They've turned the barn into kind of a sleeping and event space.
That sounds wonderful, though. If you think about it, if we're not used to rustic settings, that seems like as rustic as you can get above a barn.
Indeed.
What do you all think?
Well, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was born in one, and I'm not saying I'm better than him.
I do love to live as the other people do. This would be so exciting.
This
common locales
Broke
are
Matt.
wonderful sometimes.
It's like you guys were like, what are the worst things that rich people could possibly say?
That's us.
Write it down.
I'm not adverse to staying in a barn, but is there going to be electricity in the barn? I mean, I really would like to read through the night.
I believe they have run electricity out to the barn. Yes.
Wow. Then
this town
sounds.
It's positively.
Well,
it's almost like the Holiday Inn.
I'm sure they have candles if they don't have some kind of electricity. I mean, you have to get into the spirit of this thing.
No, candles in a barn. I mean, you've read about the Chicago fire.
Oh, that cow. Yes. That was
Infernal
unfortunate.
Ashes suggests that you ask if you could milk the goats.
I mean, when we get there.
Marcus has never done it. I don't know that he would be willing to touch a goat.
Yes, goats are maybe a bit beyond the pale for me. I don't know if I can do that.
Beyond the pale? Is that a pun, Reginald? I do love your sense of humor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we should go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, let's go. Let's go see if this barn has any. It sounds like a rustic hostel. Let's just go see how it is. I visited one in Amsterdam when I was much younger. I'm sure it'll be completely different than that. Or at least I do hope so. I have not drank enough for that.
If we're going to be here for the weekend, at least it's fairly close to the party.
Sure, and
So
I feel
we won't have to travel so far.
I feel like we'll spend most of our time at the party, so where we sleep won't matter as much.
Yeah, it's essentially just where we're putting our stuff down.
Yes.
For sure.
So the five of you finish up lunch, pay and probably over tip without thinking about it, and then hop back into the car and head out to the farm. And by head out to the farm, I mean you take a turn, go 2 blocks, and there's the farm. It's definitely walkable. Once you get parked, you won't need the car the rest of the weekend, probably.
I get up from the table. I'm just like, I'm gonna go start the car. You got me right, Reggie. Bye.
We all leave a
you
tip,
get-
and the Joyce is just, she looks at all the tips and she's like, whoa.
Can
yeah,
retire.
Joyce just made her like monthly income from you guys. Where's my?
We tip well so we can say terrible things every now and again.
Exactly.
They do forget once you just grease a little
Yeah.
palm.
Dignity is bought.
Oh, and thank goodness for that.
All right. So the farm itself is really just a house and a barn, and the barn has clearly been redone. It's not in any way a ramshackle building like that you would expect from the word barn. It's more of they have repainted it, so it's a nice solid clear color. The big barn doors are there, but one of them has been cut, so there's a smaller door in it, and it is open. And when you arrive, there are people kind of walking around and doing a few things here and there, but you are greeted as you pull up by a woman as she kind of walks out from the house, wearing an apron and your appropriate like farm clothing, what you would expect to see if you went and saw a farmer or farmer's wife. And as you kind of get out, she says, welcome to Old Man Johnson's farm. I'm Mrs. Glover. How may I help you folks today?
We heard that we might be able to procure some lodging here for the weekend's festivities.
Oh, yes, I do have some rooms left above the barn. Unfortunately, I only have 3, but 2 of those do have 2 double beds in them.
Oh, we're not adverse to sharing. This is roughing it, right? Right? We don't mind.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Delightfully scandalous.
I mean,
Can I get all of you who actually care to roll psychology to read her response?
Yeah, I
All right.
care.
I don't give a shit.
What dice are those?
That
so
is
you're going to
actually
roll the 2 10-sided dice, so you should have a percentile and a 10, and roll those, and then just whatever the number is.
I got a hard success.
Okay.
All right.
75, so.
Okay. So hard
got,
success.
I got a 46 out of my number was 50.
All right.
So
that's a regular success.
so Blue, your number was 70 that you needed to roll under. So you actually did not succeed. So just to give you an idea of what that kind of looks like. So if you did succeed, when you guys say the word rustic, it's very clear that she finds that slightly offensive, but she is keeping her composure because there are dollar signs in those eyes. She sees the 5 of you.
Dignity
she
can
quotes
be
you
bought.
a price that you would expect to pay. It's less than what you would expect to pay at a nice hotel, but it still seems maybe a little high, especially Kodi. You know that she's probably overcharging, but it isn't your money.
They can afford it.
Yeah.
I'll if it makes things easier, I can sleep in the car.
Oh no, we can't have you sleeping in the car. We hired you to come along and be protection, and you should sleep at least outside the door. So I hand her the money that she's asking for and just wait for Kodi to get the bags.
I mean, do you have a trough where you? Oh,
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I'm sure he already mentioned the baby Jesus. I'm sure they have some hay or something that he could bed down in.
I'll take one of the double rooms with Kodi.
If you can
it's
fit
fine. I don't mind
Kodi in a
sharing.
manger,
Yeah,
can fit Kodi in a manger, I will give you $5.
Well, don't.
No. He
don't
can just
tempt
have the
me,
bed.
Reginald. $5
He can
is
bunk.
a lot.
I don't mind sharing a room with Kodi. I'll bunk with him. I don't want him sleeping on the floor. That's just not right.
All right, I grab everyone's bags, and as a big, strong man, I only make one trip.
Of course. So let me go grab the patch. Oh, good. That's super. So it looks like the main floor of the barn itself has been kind of repurposed into a dance event area. So there's chairs off to one side. There's a big open area. There's clearly a little bit of an area that has been raised a little bit as a stage. It looks like they are prepared to be the number one place to get married here in Willowton, or to have parties and events. There are plenty of Halloween decorations up, which in 1926 are kind of terrifying because that's how it works then. So like, not, happy, like kind of fun ghosts, but like scary skeletons and murder demons are kind of posted everywhere. But it's clearly done in like a calm, like fun, festive, like spirit. There is a stairway up that would lead into what would have been the loft, but the loft has been completely closed in. And it's just a hallway that leads to 6 rooms, and you have been given keys for 3 of them. And you go up there, and the rooms are not huge; they're not terrible. Each one has a window, so that's kind of nice. But they are also kind of sloped a little bit along the ceiling along with the roof of the barn. It's not going to cause any impediments, but like when you sleep, your head will be closer to the ceiling than normal. So they're smallish rooms, but they all have little windows in them and kind of nice, quaint little areas. They've got, a little wash basin. There is a bathroom up there, but it is a shared bathroom.
I will say gabled roofs are so quaint.
How realistic?
I mean, we can even
How realistic
see the
do these skeletons look?
I mean, they're made out of paper, so not super realistic, but they're not.
Okay.
They're not what you would expect out of like the goofy looking skeletons we have today. They're a little more terrifying.
I was just trying to make sure that they weren't real skeletons.
Oh no! Yes, they just dug up some dead skeletons, except as opposed to live skeletons that they would dig up.
I was wondering. I was wondering how that worked.
Oh. So you get the bags kind of settled. The one room on the very, very end that you have is just a single bed, and then it's quite a bit smaller. And then the rest of the other 2 rooms have 2 double beds in each of them. So, hey, Roxy, if you get a chance, there you go. Never mind. Thanks, Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to keep these stupid bots off of our stupid stream.
Want to be famous?
I do want to be famous,
but they're not going to help with it.
That's true.
Yeah, no kidding. So you get settled in. Take a look around. Where do you guys want to go from here? It's probably like 1:30. According to the schedule for this weekend, the next thing would be at 3 p.m. would be the ghost stories at the library.
I definitely, Marcus definitely wants to go to the ghost stories.
Yes.
That is definitely in his wheelhouse. But I would also like to leave right now to see if I could just explore the library and see if I can find any local legends on my own before the ghost stories start.
Yeah, Mark. That Poe guy. He's the one who wrote the story about the bird, right?
You're referring to the Raven?
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that's the one he wrote. He also wrote a great one about a man that was walled up into a wall.
Oh, are you referring to the Cask of Amontillado?
Yes, ma'am.
My favorite was Telltale Heart. My first
beating
husband
of the
had
heart.
one of those.
Yes,
that one is my favorite as well.
I just know about the bird.
Oh, Mask of the Red
That's
Death
the one.
is fine.
That's the one I like. I hope he reads that one.
Oh, I'm sure he will. It's one of Poe's probably popular.
Can I do a psychology check on Kodi to see if he means that?
You sure can. Kodi, you would roll charm or persuasion, whichever one you want, if you're going to lie to her.
All right.
I mean, yeah. What did you get?
Well, the good news is the agency detective is not good at either one of those.
Neither am I.
All right.
Don't push the roller, break our security guard. So
I super failed. I rolled 83. So if she's,
I mean, I failed as
if she's
well.
just
So I
trying
mean,
to-
I'm like, I believe you have this quaint urban visage that you like to put out for all of us. I feel like you're hiding some secrets in there. You like to read the books.
Kodi can like see you like eyeballing him, like studying his face, and he just starts sweating. And
John,
because
call the
he's
baby.
actually never read Edgar Allan Poe, he's only heard about this story and was trying to sound. He's trying to impress you guys.
Well, for what it's worth, I believed every word. So.
That's good. Oh, is it hot in here? You know, we should probably just go outside and head to the library right now.
yes, it's upstate New York is quite balmy during October.
So,
you know what they say, heat rises and all that whatnot.
So you guys head to the library. It's maybe 15-minute walk. Get there pretty early, considering it's not a bad library. It's there was a project done by the Rockefellers that helped populate a lot of libraries, and this one has clearly benefited from it. It is a much larger library than you would expect for a town this size, well appointed, and the librarian clearly takes a lot of pride in his library. And you are greeted. There's again decorations about. There are prominent in a prominent place right in the entrance. There are books by Poe and a few other horror authors that they suggest you borrow, but people are kind of just out and about, or there are people around that are looking, and they have set up a small area for what looks like a fake campfire, and they put real logs around it, but there's like a circle of stones and then some sticks there, and they've taken some paper and colored it orange and put it on top like it's flames. And so it looks like they've made plans to have the campfire stories around a campfire.
Whoa.
Oh, this is lovely.
I'm gonna go see if they have my favorite book.
Which book is that?
Sun Tzu's The Art of War.
Roll luck for me.
All right. Do I do that based off my luck stat?
Yes.
Okay. So my luck stat is 70, and I rolled 58.
Okay. Yeah, they've got a copy of Sun Tzu's Art of War.
Nice.
When you open it, it's got that new book crack because there's absolutely nobody in this village that's ever read it.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
I'm going to go to the librarian and just introduce myself and say that do you happen to have any perhaps local legends books here?
Not any books. I would say honestly, you come at the right time. There's a walking tour of haunted Willowton tonight that you might want to go on. I wouldn't want to give you too much information yet, as I'll be leading that tonight to tell you the stories. But we will at very, very least talk about Virginia Black and discuss her evil deeds here in the town.
That sounds most delightful.
Do you happen to have... I know I've read that there are some small town libraries like this that like will keep like the town hall ledgers meeting, the minutes of a meeting. Do you happen to have those here?
Yes, we do have those down in our archives.
May I
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we can bring
May I
those up.
peruse them? Cool. Not that I
So
expect to find anything, but I'm just that odd. I want to read the town minutes.
Yeah. No. So he actually takes you down there with him.
Okay.
It's in the basement, and it's kind of the stone basement that you would expect.
Mhm.
Kind of not damp, but it is very cool. And it's kept very clean, and while cluttered in a couple of places, it's very organized cluttering.
Cool.
He takes you to an area, and there's a table there, and he starts pulling out the minutes and like walks you through them, and it's clear you could spend quite a bit of time here.
Yeah. I'm just gonna, peruse through them. I'm not looking for anything specific, but anything that's interesting or creepy.
Nothing that you can see. Can you give me looking at your sheet? Hold on. Yeah, give me a library use roll.
Library use. All right. Oh, that is like a huge failure. That's a 94.
Okay. You look through some of the meetings and some of the other notes. He also he suggests some of the older newspaper articles from the Chronicle. But you go through them with him, and he helps you. And there's not a lot there that really sticks out as creepy or scary. Just kind of a story of a town that that exists and has existed. I do
Right.
need you to remind me next time, Shawn, next
Mhm.
week, because I'm sure that's when it'll come up, that you went through the stuff here.
Okay.
So, why don't we go ahead and take a 10-minute break, Roxy?
Okay.
You want to throw up a timer for us so we can stretch our legs? I need to get some water.
Sure.
And then we will be back in 10 minutes. We usually take a break when we do these. We'll be back for another probably hour and a half after that. Run till 3 p.m. Central Time. So don't go away if you just got here. We will be back in just a short bit of time.
Yep. We'll be back. See y'all.
See y'all in a minute.
Yep.
Can you feel it? That's fear. If you expect to wake up from this nightmare, think again. This isn't a dream. Sometimes the things you see in the shadows are more than just shadows.
Is
Because
it?
it's
Yeah.
Yeah, John was like, I think that's the creepiest part. He's like, because
It is.
in the
It really is.
context, it's gonna die.
You're like, look at the cute little lamb. Oh, look at it breathing kind of weird. It's gonna die. For
Yeah,
the
pretty much.
lamb. All right, welcome back to Masks of Halloween. I'm here with the same people we were here with earlier. I don't need to reintroduce those, but we are currently at the Willowton Library, where Marcus is going through some old stuff. While he's doing that, what are you guys doing? What have you guys been doing? Are you gonna stick around the library? Did you want to walk around town a little bit? Do you want to split the party and leave him alone? Because that sounds like a great idea to me.
I mean, I know we were just at a diner, but do you think there's somewhere around here that has, like, I don't know, some freshly pressed apple cider or something?
well, there was that tavern earlier. They might have something
Ooh,
to wet your whistle.
they might have some of that cider, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Do you think?
I don't know what you mean. Explain.
Booze. She's speaking of booze.
Oh,
You know, the
oh.
the fermented kind of cider, that's got that little extra zip at the end. Makes you feel nice and warm on the inside.
Yeah, what is that, like kind of a beer? Yeah, I know what that is.
You know what? That's fine. That's fine. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go find that tavern. Do you think we can walk? I'm in
Yeah.
functional shoes. I can make it.
That sounds like a delightful excursion.
Hey,
Yes,
hey,
let's go.
hey, Mark, you want to check those books out, buddy? We can go to the bar.
I'm actually. I mean, I don't really do bars. I think I'm gonna stay around and listen to some of the ghost stories.
Well, you have not gone through all of the stuff in the basement yet. This is
Oh, so I'm still in the basement?
as you're getting
Okay.
ready. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. No, I don't really do bars, so I'm just gonna. I'm finding some really cool stuff here. I mean, nothing spooky, but this is really interesting history, and so I'm just engrossed. I'm just turning through these musty old journals.
We'll come back for you, Marcus. Don't go anywhere.
I'm just like
How old is your character, Shawn?
28.
Okay, yeah. So I'm definitely going to talk to you like a child.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
but even if you
making
weren't 28, the way I envision him is he looks like a teenager in that gangly stage, but I am like so far past teenage years that it just does not look normal.
That's fine. That's fine.
Nice.
Since I made her older, I'm like, okay. I tend to talk to a lot of people like they're children, but maybe that's just mine. That's because I'm an antiquities dealer. So.
All right. So you guys head to the tavern. When you get there, it is clear that it used to be a bar. However, it is now an eating establishment. There's still a bartender, but there doesn't seem to be any booze on the walls.
All right. I've probably been in this situation once or twice. Can I try to intuit the password to get booze?
Let's say
This is prohibition, is it not?
The password is booze.
Let's have you roll stealth. I think that's
Okay.
it's an underhandy kind of thing that'll fit. At least you're good,
All right.
somewhat good at stealth.
I'm pretty good. I'm an okay amount of good. Here we go. All right, 12. That's a critical.
That is an extreme.
No, it's not. It's not a critical. It's extreme. You're right.
But that's real good. So you walk up to the bartender, and you talk back and forth, and finally you say, I could go for a little extra in a drink if that was something you guys can do. And he just pulls up this those big jugs that you imagine when you hear the word moonshine.
Yeah, it's got
he pulls one of those up and he puts it on the
X's.
counter, and he says, "Now this stuff's going to be really rough. I've got some other stuff from Apples. It's a little less potent. How serious are you?"
Well, I could go for some of this. I got, my more distinguished colleague back there, the nice lady. She been making some noise about apples.
Well, come on over, ma'am. I'd be happy to pour you a couple of drinks.
I do look at Reginald and I'm like, this agent that you have hired, I find it most interesting that he is happy to bootleg booze.
Hey, whatever the client needs, right?
Well, my brother is the sheriff.
Oh.
And he also comes in here for drinks.
Well, fantastic.
If I was worried about somebody maybe from Albany or New York City coming up here and creating a problem, I'd worry about it. But everybody in the town knows that this is the place to go, and I make sure nobody gets back in their car. Not that it's a huge town, but we make sure they either walk home or we get them a ride. That's the unspoken agreement we have. So.
Well, I would
hey,
love to have some cider.
Thanks, Anonymous. Whoever decided to gift out some subs, we really appreciate that. Looks like 3. Roxy, you're not number 1 anymore.
Did I get knocked off my pedestal?
Well,
yeah,
I guess technically you are still number 1. even though the
For
gate
now.
operated. That's weird. Yes, for now. But thank you for giving out subs. We appreciate that. So he says, now, Miss, did you wanted something apple-y? I've got some cider I could pour and then put some of this in there, or would you rather just have something straight?
I mean, do you have any of that fermented apple cider?
I do.
That is what
It's
I
got
would
a bit of a kick to it. I always suggest kind of evening it out with a little bit of unfermented apple cider, but it's up to you.
This is gonna mean a whole lot of nothing to you, but I'll tell you right now, I have a build of +1, and I think that I can handle it.
Okay.
My game mechanics also tell me that I can handle it.
My game mechanics. Yeah. So I'm gonna have you roll drinking. No. Yeah. So he pulls out a glass and pulls out another jug and he pours some in there. It's that nice, rich brown amber color that you would want to see. It's got some stuff floating in it, which means it's probably a really good cider. It just hasn't been filtered super well, but that's also appropriate for the time. Like heavy filtering doesn't come in until much later.
Sure, this looks absolutely delectable. I do thank you.
When you bring it up to take a drink, it did our stream pause, Rox?
Oh.
Checking.
Nope, we're looking good again. Never mind. I just want to make sure we're good on the back end.
Yeah, I'm not registering any issues, so no drop frames
cool.
or anything.
Then
So.
maybe it was just a hiccup on Twitch's end, not a big deal. You could smell the alcohol. It's gonna be strong. This is something you want to sip and not something. Well, I mean, if you wanted to shoot it, you go right ahead. But
I am a connoisseur of all things liquor, as it were, and I know how to sip a good scotch. I can sip a good solid cider. It might surprise me at first, but I'll be fine.
now,
I do believe.
Yes, ma'am.
I do believe I will have a cider as well, please. I might as well enjoy myself.
Exactly. It's going to be a good couple of days here. He pours one for you as well. And now you, sir, did you want to maybe do a sarsaparilla and put some of the shine in it, or do you just want to do some cider?
Oh, sarsaparilla sounds fantastic.
So yeah, they pours you some sarsaparilla out of like a brown bottle. It's got a little bit of bubble to it, but not a lot. And then pours in the shine to that as well. These are all pretty solidly alcoholic. If you guys intend to drink a lot, I have no problem with that. I will warn you that there will be penalty dice. Penalty dice are bad. You don't want them.
No, I just wanted to get warmed up a little bit. Those balmy New York Octobers have.
Yeah.
I'm just bundling up a little bit, preparing for
Sure.
the evening's activities, as it were.
Okay. So you guys get a couple of drinks and sit down. There are a couple other town folk in there. They seem to be chatting back and forth, friendly enough, and acknowledge you with smiles when you sit, but leave you to be at your table without an issue. And they kind of.
I was going to say that is preferable.
Yeah.
We don't wish to talk to many.
Yeah, so they kind of sit back and let you do, and after a little while, the bartender brings over a basket of peanuts. He says, if you want to, it's going to be a long day. Maybe make sure that you keep food in you, just in case. And it's more of he wants to make sure he takes care of you than anything else. It's not a judgment. It's just got to make sure that you're not drunk when you leave here, because that could cause some problems.
That and Joyce has spread the word about the high tippers in town.
Yes, there was a flurry of phone calls. If these 5 people come in, give them whatever they want.
Which is amazing because they have no phones here.
Yeah. Well, it was a flurry of birds.
Just
damn carrier pigeons.
Yeah. Oh look! Marcus would love to see all these ravens flying through the air with all those little letters attached to their talons.
That one has too many eyes.
Oh.
I love peanuts. It reminds me of the circus.
Heard
Oh.
that wrong.
Oh my God.
I heard that one wrong.
I did
All right.
too.
I did as well.
I did too. I was
Good.
like,
I'm
wait a
glad I
second.
wasn't the other. What kind of circus are you going to?
Oh, really?
The best kind.
The best guy.
That's all right.
So you guys, you go through, you sit there for a while and drink, and right about, I don't know, a few minutes till 3, you realize that if you're going to go to those tails, now would be the time to
need
head
to go.
that way.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
hold on, I gotta go find the
let's head
library,
on.
actually.
Hey, did we ever get the restaurant owner's name?
The diner or the tavern?
The tavern.
Yes, it's gotta go find it.
Well, you know his last name is Lud.
Nope, it is not.
Well, I thought he was the brother.
Yes, his last name is Rutland.
Oh.
That's his.
Oh yeah, he's the brother of the sheriff we met.
Oh, okay. That's right.
It's John Rutland is the sheriff, or is the tavern owner, and his brother is Matt Rutland.
Hey, Johnny. You know, can I get one? Can I get one for the road?
Yeah. Let me whip something up for you. I don't even know what you would travel with. It would probably be in a glass still. Because I don't think they have.
I promise I'll.
In them days.
I promise I'll bring it back. Mostly intact.
You know what? Don't worry about it. It'll be all right. It will. All
right, you sure?
Well, did I lose you?
No, we're here.
You know, not for nothing, but you could probably open up a side business selling commemorative cups as like souvenirs. Just an idea. You can have that for free.
Oh, all right.
I don't even know what a commemorative cup would look like, but I am very interested. I would definitely buy one if we make it back this way next year.
Especially if it was like
Well,
spoons or something like that, commemorative spoons of some sort of the states. That would be a wonderful idea.
I would have a whole collection.
I do love
all
collectibles.
49 of them would be right on my wall all the time.
I imagine it's a fall festival, so it'd be like a regular cup, but it'd have like a pumpkin on it.
Did you say 49 states, Roxy?
I don't know. I know there's not 50 yet, but I was for some reason thinking
it'd be 48, I think.
48,
yeah, because Alaska and Hawaii joined about the same time.
Okay, yeah. No, for some reason, I'll be honest, I'm going to, my brain was fried, and I was like, there's 52 states, I'll just take 3 off. So, there's not. There should be, but there's not.
Puerto Rico and Washington,
DC.
DC would love to be the next 2 states for sure.
I would take 4 senators from those states.
Yes, I would too.
It is currently 48 states. The last state to join was Arizona in 1912, which was only 14 years ago in game.
Did I say 49? I probably just had a vision at one of those last seances. But you know what I mean. I would have all of them on my wall. 48 is such a nice number. It would fit just perfectly. 4 rows of 12 or 12 rows of 4, however I want to do it.
Yes.
Yes, the stars would line up so nicely on that flag.
I actually think I could do 3 of 16. I think my math is starting to come back to me. Maybe 6 of 8. I haven't had to use math in forever. I hire
Apple cider has some regenerative qualities math-wise, I see.
I feel
yes, that's how
young and alive.
All great mathematic discoveries started in a tavern.
The more you drink, the more you know.
Can I
let's go see how little Maki's doing.
Can I get Marcus? Can I get you to give me a roll?
Sure.
Where did it go? this is unhelpful. Give me a library use roll.
Haha, that was great. Where's my library at? Hard success. I rolled a 15.
Fantastic. While you're going through the newspapers, a new one is brought down from yesterday to be put away. Sorry, excuse me. Where did my notes go for that? Why is this so difficult? This is unhelpful.
It sounds like a user error.
Yeah, I just don't remember where it was at, and I know this is important. I need to give this information to you guys.
GM, please. GMY.
Yeah. So I just don't remember who was murdered.
These
you
are
see
good
a
things to
note
know.
on
It was
it's
Colonel
not yesterday's
Mustard.
paper, it's this morning. It's this morning's paper, and there is a story about a missing child.
Is that
Okay.
is that handout number 3, perhaps?
Oh, cheese and rice, perhaps. I gotta find the handouts.
Perhaps page 70? 71? 79? 80, maybe? 80? Let's do 80.
Do I
You
hear
did
it
have
81?
a lot of that. All of a sudden, you're an auctioneer. 81, 82, 83, anyone?
That's it.
85,
Yes,
85, 86, 86, 87.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it is. Yes, it is handout number 3. Halloween prank or coyote. Pets continue to vanish. It's not a kid yet. It's pets. Sorry.
Oh, so
We were
I
looking
gotta
into the future.
I got to erase now. Missing pets.
Yes, authorities are still searching for a number of missing pets around the town of Willowton. Missy, a 6-year-old house cat owned by the Montgomery family, became the 9th pet to go missing on October 10th. Some of the animals have apparently either escaped or were taken from their yards. In one case, a dog's collar was removed and the leash was found still secured to the animal's doghouse. Sheriff Willowton told this reporter that every effort is being made to find the missing animal and that his office was treating the matter seriously. While many in Willowton believe the missing animals to be the work of Halloween pranksters and expect them to suddenly turn up November 1st, others have a darker suspicion. Some fear that a coyote or some other large predator to be responsible. Until the truth is known, locals are being advised to bring their pets in at night and to not wander in wooded areas alone after dark. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't wander around. Oh, there's that creepy freaking guy.
It's the scarecrow.
What, the scarecrow?
Right.
Leave my
Right.
scarecrow alone.
He wants love.
I
He's
like
just
Scarecrow.
misunderstood.
He just wants a brain.
Oh, look,
And a
Marcus
hug.
is on our wallpaper.
He's got his arms out for a hug.
Poor ugly Marcus was made into a scarecrow for this adventure.
Oh. Oh. It's not untrue, but
Shade.
And so there is that was from yesterday's paper. There is
Okay.
a story from this morning. There is no handout for this one, Roxy. That Byron
Good,
or
'cause I
Bobby
don't have it.
Myron, one of the Boy Scouts that came to town to participate in the Halloween festival, disappeared yesterday after going into the cornrow maze. It's believed that he just got lost and he'll be back soon. But there has been a little bit of concern.
oh no, child disappear all the time around here. They just show up. It's fine.
Nothing ominous whatsoever about this.
Yeah.
Don't
In
worry
fact,
about
yeah.
that.
Corn mazes are perfectly safe. So
You know,
disappeared in the cornrow maze,
Yes.
and that one is from this morning, or from. Okay.
Yes, that's from this morning.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Yay, something scary.
All right. So you guys are headed to the ghost story competition?
Oh,
Yes.
it's a competition.
Yes, because there is a prize. if you win.
Ooh, I wish to be scared out of my wits. I will award a prize of my own, and I check my coin purse.
Oh, you still got some money. Scroll that second page there, Roxy. You got a lot of money.
Can I enter the contest?
You absolutely can.
All right, I'm going
Absolutely.
I will
Okay.
as well.
Okay, fantastic. So there are quite a few people here, and most of them are not children. Most of them are adults. There are some teenagers as well. Maybe a total of 30 people, which just seems like a pretty good turnout for this town. The first man up says, "I will tell you the story of the legend of Virginia Black." Virginia Black came to Willowton just after the Salem witch trials, with nothing more than her clothes on her back. She found work as a maid keeping house for the local shoemaker, a man named Morton Geiss. In nearly no time, at no time at all, the pair were wed, even though Mr. Geist was a confirmed bachelor. Although I have heard stories that he had no interest in women whatsoever prior to that. Soon dogs and cats started to vanish without a trace all over town. Eventually, someone swore that they saw someone who looked like Virginia wearing a long black coat or cloak snatch someone's cat from their yard and stuff it in a sack. When the police searched the cobbler's shop, there they found the bodies of 74 cats and dogs, all drained of blood. Virginia must have been using that blood to brew ink in order to scribe a satanic Bible. Virginia wasn't at the shop, so the police rushed to her home. They captured her holding a bloody axe over the body of her husband, who she just hacked apart in her own bed. Virginia was taken to the Willowton Tavern, which was the best place that people could do for a public trial back then. She was put on trial, found guilty, and hung from the rafters of that very building. The half-finished satanic Bible was never found. Since then, her ghost has been seen many times around town, mostly in the tavern or at the Black residence. Virginia's ghost has been described as being a beautiful woman, covered in blood, carrying a sack or a blood-stained axe. Sometimes people say they hear a man screaming inside the Black House or see Morton Geiss's blood spirit running, crying for help. Woo.
Wait,
Whoa.
what was the
Virginia.
husband's name again, Matt?
Morton Geiss.
Guys, okay.
Virginia Black actually sounds quite interesting. I may have to try to connect with her at my next seance. My third husband was also a confirmed bachelor.
I guess it's going to come up now. Shawn, you did not see anything from any town meeting records at all that would
Okay.
correspond to that.
Okay.
You know he
Another
lying.
person, another woman comes up and tells a very similar rendition. There are some different bits and pieces here and there, but it's essentially the same story. And then there are 4 or 5 other people that come up and tell other ghost stories, specifically from the New England area. So you hear a story of the Headless Horseman, very similar more to the Disney story that Ichabod was a teacher, and not the Tim Burton version where he's an investigator. But they all revolve around the Hessian and the head being used to control him. And then you guys are given a chance to tell a story. I'm not going to have you guys tell an actual story unless you actually have one prepared. But since I did not prepare you for this at all, I'm not going to expect that.
Kodi gets up and he tells the story. Are you guys familiar with the ghost story of the girl whose dog stays under her bed, and when she gets nervous at night, she puts her hand down and the dog licks her hand?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 That's the story that I tell.
Okay.
But where was
and
the
then,
dog really?
The story ends where she hears like a dripping noise from her bathroom, so she puts her hand down to get like reassurance from her dog, and then she goes to investigate the noise and finds her dog's throat slit and that's where the dripping noise is coming from. And then she turns around and sees a man under her bed.
Oh my goodness, Kodi, that was absolutely horrific. There are children here.
So
Yes, I believe. Well, I mean, there's teenagers here. That was in the news. You guys don't remember?
No, I think I would have remembered something like that.
Well, I thought my second husband's sister had a best friend who that happened to.
And then Beatrice, do you have a story that you'd like to tell, or you just want to leave it vague and not worry about
I
it? It's
have
okay.
a story, yes.
Oh, okay.
I get up. Once, there was a boy of some quite means. His parents died just as he reached his majority, and he inherited quite a bit. Oh, he was unfortunately not good with funds, and so quickly he fell into disrepute and disrepair, losing everything that he once had. Oh, truly, truly, he lost it all and was then poor. And I pause dramatically, the end, and stop and walk away.
Oh, that will give me nightmares. That is quite disturbing.
That's terrifying. Reminds
Oh,
me of that
dear.
time that I had to do second class because all of the first class cabins were taken on that trip across the ocean that one time.
Oh, God.
Oh, how awful.
Second
And
class.
then
cabins.
to make it worse, my father, I was only 15 at the time. My father had to buy one of the because we hit something in the middle of the night and we had to pay a bunch of people to allow us on one of the rowboats to get away as the boat sank. And I don't know
Oh
where
my
they'd
God.
spend the money if they stayed on the rowboat after we left, but I'm sure it all worked out fine.
Dear, you
Oh,
weren't
how
on the
ghastly.
Titanic, were you?
Might have been. I can't remember.
I tell you, give this lady an award for this horrific tale that she hath told. I believe she had taken first place.
But
Yes.
what one more? I'd like to enter the competition if I can.
Oh,
Okay.
Marcus.
And then in character. And then I stand up and I am like petrified. And all anybody can make out is me quietly mumbling to myself. You make out ill-fated expedition, journey to Africa. And then I just panic and I sit down.
Wow, I think man,
Kodi
I feel
will
that.
applaud you.
that
That's some-
sounds just exciting.
That's the most I've ever seen that boy talk out loud.
Kodi, can I get you to roll me luck?
All right. Oh, is that no? That's a 9. I rolled 100.
Oh.
You
The
are
building
the-
falls
That
in
is a
on us.
critical failure.
You are now cursed
Hold
for the
on.
rest of this game.
Hold up. Can I purchase a reroll?
Yes, you absolutely can.
All right, I'm doing it. All right, hold on. I have to actually hit enter on my keyboard.
If you
the
get-
world is
If you get another critical failure, you have to keep it.
okay.
And
There,
then toss the dice out the window.
I paid the proper amount, and I'm rolling again. Okay, this time I rolled 10.
That
Nice,
is not
nice.
100.
That's fantastic. So you actually win the competition with your story because
Hey.
I rolled for the NPCs and you had to beat an 18 and you did. So you are given. Oh, I'm not even on the right page. That's super unhelpful, Matt. Get to the right page.
Oh,
you
this
are
is
given.
so nice. They gave me a sword.
No, it's not a sword.
Dang it.
That's a joke from earlier that you're not getting a sword still. But you do get a basket of local goodies, including freshly baked pumpkin bread, candied apples, and a jug of non-alcoholic apple cider.
All right.
You
Nice.
forgot the head of the cat.
As a show of good faith, I'm gonna open the basket and I'm gonna pass it out amongst the other storytellers.
Oh, all right.
keep-
Yeah.
You're
Keep a little bit of the
you're
bread.
so pleasant.
The bread. I'm gonna keep the bread and the drink for myself. Well, some of the bread, but I'm gonna pass out as much as I can.
You
Okay,
know,
yeah,
Reginald, when
sounds
you said
great.
you'd hired a Pinkerton man, this is not at all what I expected.
You
Well,
know,
it's a higher
you
level
don't
of service.
you don't get too far in life if you don't help out the regular folk.
You don't?
Which I technically am
Wow,
one of them. So
he knows very little of how the world works.
This is news to me.
You don't?
Obviously, capitalism works different in these parts.
look,
At least for Pinkerton men.
if people like you, you can kind of tend to get away with some more things. That's all I'm saying.
You guys are terrible, and I love it. It's fantastic. Okay,
Here when
so
we die.
you guys are there for maybe a little over an hour and a half. The librarian is Mr. Rothschild. He kind of guides it, and he does a little bit of like announcements beforehand about other stuff going on in town. It's clear that he has the same flyer that you guys have, and is pushing people towards the other events. And then at the end,
Would anyone like
he
to
tells
see
a
that
story.
flyer?
When?
Would anyone like to see that flyer?
Oh yeah. Throw the flyer up there, Roxy. Go for it.
Ooh, the flyer.
He does also tell a story of his own at the end after the prize has been given out. One about a story about a man who, after the world ends through some terrible cataclysm, has a chance to read all of the books left in the world, and then breaks his glasses and can't. So it's just the worst, the absolute worst, according from the way that he tells it. I do like how you put those up there. I like that they're taped on. I like that the digital things are taped on there.
Hey, you know?
It does look good, though. I really like it. So the next official event is at 7. So you guys have a few hours between now and then.
I think I
But you
still
don't
would
need
like to look
to-
around the old country store where the apple bobbing contest is going to be. I would at least like to explore this quaint establishment.
Oh, don't forget, we also need to make reservations if we want the Edgar Allan Poe dinner.
Oh,
It's true.
Oh yeah, let's go do
true.
that. Let's do that.
So do we want to
Okay.
do you want to go shopping and then maybe some of us can go make the reservation?
Well, if you go
I'll
walk
go
around
with-
and do the shopping, you can stop in there while you're doing it. That's
Okay.
not a problem.
Sweet.
Cool.
Unlike Manhattan, there's not as many buildings here to see, so
Yeah, no, not
we should
really.
be fine.
No, not at all. The map is quite small.
So you do get over and make the reservation. The 5 of you should not be an issue for tonight, although that you do you are the last few people that can be there. They're running out of space.
I'm glad to hear that. I had not seen many folk, but I would love to have a full theater experience. Do you know, is there going to be audience participation?
Mr. Simon is usually pretty good about interacting some, but I wouldn't expect a lot.
Oh, well, I will do my best to keep my hand lowered and not whoop and holler at my favorite parts, but so be it.
So you go from there, go around town, and there are a couple of small shops. There's a general store that kind of is also a bit grocery, but a lot of the grocery stuff is canned goods. There's not a lot of fresh anything, but also you're in a farming community, so if they don't grow it themselves, they can buy it from the farm or from like the like their farm stores. So like that's not that unheard of.
Farmers
let's
market
see.
before they were farmers markets.
Yeah.
It's just the market.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You do happen across a doctor's office while you're walking. Just to be noted, there is an antique store.
Ooh.
Yeah, I figured you'd
must.
be excited about that.
What is the name of this antique store?
The Found Things.
Is that actually in the module? Or did you make that up?
No, making it up.
Okay, we're going to call it the Apex Buffalo Antique Store because that is my grandfather's antique store in real life. So we're going to just call it that.
Oh.
Yeah, don't make that.
All right.
Thanks for making that easy to note, Roxy.
Yeah.
Apex
Buffalo Antique Store.
Buffalo.
Like, who doesn't know Apex Buffalo Antique Store?
I liked Found Things.
I mean,
It's just as in the mind society's zeitgeist as much as Spatula City.
well, it is timely for some of you may have never been to the Apex Buffalo Saloon that is in the middle in St. Joseph, Missouri. I don't know if any of you have ever traveled into the Midwest, but every now and again I'll make a stop in there. They have a nice bowling alley upstairs, and they have this wonderful ceiling artwork. But yeah, it is quite lovely, and so to see it represented here in this antique store is just fantastic.
There's a Midwest?
One day, Reginald, we must take a cross-country tour. I've been talking to you about it for years, and you just keep avoiding me, and you're like, oh, I have things to do, but I'm going to show you some
The Atlantic has so many things I love that it's hard to get away from.
When
on
you're
both
traveling
sides
from
of the pond.
I was gonna say, when you're only traveling from New York to Europe, there is nothing west.
Yeah.
Really
I mean, I hear California is very interesting.
Well, it is. I'll tell you that. See, is what you must do is you must visit me, and just go right through. You'll have to go through the Midwest.
Okay, I'm sure it's very small, right? It's a quick drive to get through the Midwest.
It's a train
Whatever
trip. You
you'd
would
like
get to
to
take the
believe.
train. You'd get to ride the rails.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I mean, they
I'll try that out.
have luxury cars. I took one to get to New York this last time. They have luxury cars, and the dining car is my favorite place. They have a bar.
Well, then I'll definitely have to visit you in California sometime.
We do seem to find a lot.
Though
of
I still feel like
mission times.
I do still find moving pictures a bit gauche, but I'll do what I can.
Oh well, we don't have to go see those if we don't have to.
Oh, you must! The pictures are so very exciting.
I mean, we are going to the
Piano.
theater tonight.
Go ahead. True. Sorry to waylay us.
No,
you guys are doing great.
I'm personally a fan of that Charlie Chaplin. I like his little mustache.
Charles Chaplin?
Thinking about growing one like that myself.
He's an up-and-comer.
Yes.
It's all the rage right now.
I have to try to catch up with what the kids are into nowadays. I'm like 29, so I've aged out just a little bit on what's new.
And how old are you, Kodi?
I'm 40. I just carry it well.
Well,
so
you're almost aged out of my preferred age range, Kodi. So you just stay where you are.
Well, I mean, I got a missus at home, but I appreciate it. I guess I could be number 6. How many?
Only 5. It'd be 5. But there's no.
Oh, okay.
I swore off matrimony. We don't have to be married.
That's that hard and fast rule of half your age plus 7. I think it's hard the older you get to stick to that.
Indeed.
That rule goes this far back?
Yes.
Oh, for a woman of means, such a thing doesn't apply.
Any age. I mean, my first husband was older because, well, that's a story for another time.
Have to get your money somewhere.
You do.
It's because
we can't all be old money.
It's because you have a propensity to collect antiques, and then I shoulder nudge Marcus.
Marcus is looking at you guys like he doesn't have a clue. You guys are
that was very droll.
Speaking a foreign language as far as Marcus is concerned. At this point, he has yet to be on a date.
Oh, Marcus.
Oh, poor Marcus.
I can tell by your fallen countenance that this discussion has left you not feeling as part of the group. You are one of us. You are one of us. And I'm sure I'd marry you if I didn't swear off matrimony.
Well, no,
Last time.
and I appreciate that. It's not that I don't feel part of the group. It's just not something that have much experience with, and though I've read a lot about it in books, it's just not something that seems to be fated for myself.
Oh, well, when's the last time you asked a girl out?
Does trying to be set up by your family count as a date?
Of course.
Yeah.
Are there any other at your age?
3 years ago.
Oh, so there's you're never gonna find somebody if you don't talk to them.
Get back on the wagon, as it were.
That drives
Let me give you some fatherly advice from a man who's old enough to be a father. Talk to people. All right, that's it. That's all my advice.
I will endeavor to try and follow that advice. And
Reginald.
Also, I find more booze and less milk helps.
Oh,
I've just never been one to drink. It tends to. Let's be honest. I'm not a winner by any stretch of the imaginations when it comes to looks, and I can hold my own with talking and with the things that I know, and I just find that alcohol diminishes that for me.
I understand. I do think while you're at least with us here, it would behoove you to just, maybe loosen up just a touch. I'm not gonna, I'm too old to be your peer, but and I would hate to pressure you, but a little of that mulled fermented cider might just perk you right up. But that can wait until after the house tour tonight.
Okay, maybe.
I'm not above peer pressuring a youth. Drink, kid. Drink.
Live a little, Marcus.
I do. I spent a quite enjoyable afternoon reading the town notes.
Does Marcus drink Coca-Cola?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So you've had plenty of cocaine.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that in the 20s.
Yeah.
Let's get this boy a Coca-Cola. It does liven me up and put a little pep in my step. My get up and go doesn't get away from me then.
I don't drink, but I do take Laudanum 10 times a day.
Yeah.
So you guys wander around the town, do some shopping. There's nothing of note in the antique shop, really. It is antiques for sure, but it's stuff that you can find most places.
This is
nothing great.
This is this is all lovely. Sometime, do you have the name of the proprietor of the Apex Buffalo Found Things and Curiosities?
I have that written down, but I'm gonna let you guess at it. You tell me what you think his name is.
Dear Robert, it's been a while. I knew your father, many moons ago. It seems as though most of his collection has been just bought off, or did you have to sell it in an estate sale? No matter. Next time I come through these parts, I will be sure to bring a truck, and we'll see if we can't liven up your space here a little bit. Oh, is that a spot on that doily? We do need to. You should just take that away. Nobody likes. You don't want dirty antiques, But anyway, Robert, it has been wonderful talking to you. How's your mom and them? I'm sure they're fine. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna poke around in the back. Do I find any boxes with very ominous auras about them?
No, and you find exactly 0 swords. I know that question is coming.
Any ornate daggers?
No ornate daggers.
Let's see. This the Revolutionary War was a while ago. Do they have any cannons?
Probably
Is
in
that a
town.
cannon on your back?
Or are you happy to see me?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
could strap it
Hey.
to your arm.
Why can't it be both?
So, you guys
Quick, someone reload
wandered
me.
the town for a while.
Okay.
It is coming up on 7:00 for the apple bobbing competition, which you guys mentioned you wanted to go to, correct?
No, we discussed not doing the apple bobbing because of how nasty.
Not doing
Yeah.
it, but still watching.
Oh well, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So the apple bombing competition goes fine. They've got several kind of teenagers doing it, and then some of the younger adults. I need as they get kind of towards the end. It's probably 7:30. It doesn't take very long to bob for apples, really. You notice that one of the boys goes up as you guys are all chatting, kind of away, and everyone else is kind of enthralled. He sticks his head in and goes to get an apple, when suddenly he begins to thrash violently, as though he is being held in the water by something. Eventually, two of the boys right next to him pull him out. He lays down on the ground and seems to be trying to cough, and then suddenly goes completely still.
Oh my word.
And one of the men in the crowd comes over and tries to administer some chest compressions and checks his pulse, and he looks up and says, I think he's dead.
Oh, goodness.
I need
I have
all of
just
you to give me a
witnessed-
sanity check. So you're going to roll your dice. You're going to try and roll under your current sanity, which will be the number circled in blue.
I am okay.
I did it.
Yeah.
I am not.
If you succeeded, you will roll a d3 and you'll lose that much. If you failed, you'll roll a d6 and you'll lose that much.
I only lose 1 sanity point.
Same here.
Me as well.
All right.
I lose 2.
As you guys are standing there taken aback.
Did you have a question? Did you have a question, Blue?
No, just mentioning I lost 4.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, 4? Okay.
Well, no, on a D3, that would have been a if you rolled a 4,
she
failed.
I failed.
Oh, failed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll pay attention better.
After a couple minutes, a man in a nicer suit comes over and bends down to listen and to check on him. He pulls out a stethoscope and he mumbles to what seems to be the boy's father. He says, "Yeah, I think he is dead." And the crowd kind of awkwardly disperses while what's clearly the doctor and the father begin talking a little bit about what to do.
Oh dear.
You do hear the doctor say, "I've never seen anything like this before, but it has to be just an accident. No one was touching him, right?" And they talk for a few minutes, and then seems to be kind of the end of it.
Is there anybody around the bucket barrel, whatever it was that he was bobbing in?
I mean, they're not too far away, but you could get up and close and look.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to go look at the barrel.
I would like to as well. I have a little bit of a cult, and I'm spooked enough that I wonder if there's something fishy going on here.
Let's have the two of you roll occult.
Where's it? That is a success. I rolled a 56 under 65.
This barrel is filthy. That's all I see.
Marcus, you don't see anything or hear anything. However, when you get close to the barrel, you feel the hair on your arms stand up, and goosebumps kind of make their way up your arm and up your arms and into your back. It's just for a second, and then it goes away.
Could I investigate from where I'm standing while they're looking over the body if I can see anything wrong with the body?
Give me a spot hidden. It is alphabetical, if that helps.
Yeah. I have so many dice, and I can't find the ones I need. There we go. Oh, that's not good. I rolled 85 for 45.
That's okay. You don't die or anything. You look around. The best you can tell, there's nothing of note here that seems odd, other than no one was touching him, and then he suddenly seemed to be choking and died.
Well, it was either brain aneurysm or a cardiopulmonary infarction.
Yeah.
That is a dirty word. Do not repeat that last.
Kelbell, welcome to the chat, and Roxy randomly gifted you a sub, I guess. So, yeah,
she's trying.
Welcome, and now you're subscribed.
Used my wife to get in the lead on gifting subs.
That's your wife. Fantastic,
that's Kelly.
Well, Kelly, thank you for letting us borrow Shawn so often. We generally like him.
He's all right, I guess.
He'll do in a pinch.
Yeah. I mean, in a pinch, I guess. Sorry, my computer just froze all of a sudden.
Oh no. Well, we're all in a bit of terror over this.
My computer's a little scared too, obviously.
The computer's like, nope, I'm out. Dead child.
Well,
so
I'm not quite sure what to make of this. You know, I think that he just probably died of a heart attack or something. You know how it is. It's got my uncle 2 years ago, so I've seen this before.
Well, maybe I feel like the proper thing to do is leave. I don't want to, make the father feel like we're hanging around too much.
And no one else is going to want to bob in that spit pit, as it were.
No.
It is, by the time this all kind of smooths out a little bit, it is almost 8 o'clock, which is time for dinner.
Oh.
Hey, all this children dying sure has worked up my appetite. How you guys?
Oh, you could tell.
I feel a bit peckish too.
I'm still staring at the barrel, trying to figure out what that feeling was that I got from it.
You really can't tell, but you have read more than once about magical auras or auras that stick or energy that sticks around after something magical happens. And while that doesn't make a lot of sense, because what you read, I don't know how much you believe of what you read, but what you read is always it's always, maybe this is real, maybe this isn't.
Yeah, that's my character's background. He's starting to realize that there may be some truths, but he hasn't actually ever seen anything personally yet.
Well, that might change.
Yeah, no, that's why he's staring at the barrel, going, "This is maybe true."
This is cool.
So
I just can't put it into words.
And like true New Yorkers, we see something extremely traumatic happen to somebody, and then go on with our day.
Yeah, you guys head to dinner. There are 50 people seated. Several of them seem to be from out of town. You are seated at a table with 7 other people, a couple, and then another, 2 couples, and then a group of 3. They all seem nice. You're served like a roasted chicken with some vegetables and like a nice roasted potato, and all very well seasoned. Exactly what you would kind of expect out of a rustic setting. Definitely not the most expensive fare, but you didn't pay too terribly much for the dinner either. as Simon, I want to say Birch, but I don't think that's right. Whatever his last name was. I've got to go find that.
Let me look at the handout.
Branch. When Simon Branch takes the stage, it's towards the end of dinner. They'd let you kind of sit and talk for a little while. He begins by reading selections from pieces, and he starts with Berenice, which is a story published in 1835 by Edgar Allan Poe. Misery is manifold. The wretchedness of earth is multiform. Overreaching the wide horizon as the rainbow, and its hues are as various as the hues of that arch, as distinct too, yet as intimately blended. Overreaching the wide horizon as the rainbow, how is it that from beauty I have derived a type of unloveliness, from the covenant of peace a simile of sorrow? But, as in ethics, evil is a consequence of good, so, in fact, out of joy is sorrow born. Either the memory of past bliss is the anguish of today, or the agonies which are have their origins in the ecstasies which might have been. And then he does move on to the cask of Amontillado.
Amontillado.
Thank you. And then to a story called Hop Frog, which I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Hop Frog. I had not. It is a story. I'm sorry?
That one he just told, that's the one about the wall man you were talking about earlier.
Yes. Hop Frog is a story of a revenge taken by a person of shorter stature. I'm not sure what the proper term is, so I'm just going to go with that. And then to the Pit and the Pendulum.
Good
and
story.
Then finalizes
well.
with the Telltale Heart.
Oh, yes. Do tell heart.
Do tell that tale.
As he is kind of in the middle of the Telltale Heart, which he reads the entirety of because it's not super long. A cold wind rushes through the room, and you can smell a mild odor of decay on it. It blows out all of the candles. So this dinner has been done with candles and hurricane lamps instead of electricity to give it an ambiance. It blows all of those out, and it plunges the room into extreme darkness, except you can still see the glowing of grinning faces from the carved lit pumpkins around the room. You can hear some shuffling as someone goes over to turn the lights on, but the electrical lights don't seem to work. I need everyone to give me sanity checks.
Oh, these are some pretty good special effects. Hey, tell
And
the
I
one about
passed
the
it.
bird.
I did not make that one.
You know, I've never had a character with such high sanity. It's so nice to make a roll.
Cody just
Right?
whips out a lighter and he's like, "Encore, do the one about the bird."
Tell the one about the boy. I rolled a 9. Does that mean anything special?
Yeah, as long as you're under the sanity, that's all that matters. There are not varying degrees of sanity, and it is your current sanity. So if you lost some last time, your number has already gone down. So and everybody did.
Okay,
so.
but
I just think it's special effects and start clapping.
So there's never going to be a time that I don't lose sanity.
Well, there's possible that you won't lose sanity.
It just depends
However,
on
in
the
a short
roll.
form game like this, I always ratchet the sanity loss up a little bit because it gives it more of an impending doom kind of feel. So if you succeeded, you only lose 1. If you failed, you'll lose a d6.
Oh, so we're
I
losing
lost
one?
one
Okay.
as well.
Yeah.
That was not the right one to click. That's my luck. That's not my sanity.
No. Lowella starts to.
There we go.
Lowella shakes the table a little bit, and she looks around. And no one else is doing it, and she says, "Oh, is this not the séance portion, in which we're supposed to? Is that not? Never mind.
Is this not part of it?
I mean, it could be. So we've got enough people.
This kind of felt like it was part of it.
So as after a couple of minutes, the lights finally do come back on, the electrical lights, and as they do, the jack-o'-lanterns around the room, their faces open into almost like a scream, and you can hear a moan coming from all of them for
Oh,
just a moment before that goes away,
oh
and
dear.
the jack-o'-lanterns seem to go back. And it's at that point that everyone in the room is startled, and then finally someone stands up and starts clapping as though it was all part of the performance. And then everyone else seems to join in, kind of in that same like reticent, I'm not sure what actually just happened, but no one wants to acknowledge how weird that was.
I have had enough alcohol to make that something possible.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I put a hand on Reginald's shoulder and stop me if I try to drink any more tonight. I believe I've had my fill.
Me as well. Maybe we'll continue drinking tomorrow, but tonight I think we've reached our
Of course.
scary pumpkin level.
Yeah, that was.
Marcus.
Whew.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm
Marcus stands up and just has a look of horror on his face because he realizes that this wasn't special effects and there's something going on, especially with the feeling he got earlier.
You get that same feeling again. And it lasts and seems to slowly build, almost like an anxiety attack, like just that quiet building behind everything, and you don't realize it was even building until the lights come back and the moaning stops, and then it's gone. It's just this energy in the room. So at that point, everyone, the man on the stage is kind of unsure what to do next, and he just when the clapping starts, he stands up and bows and shuffles away. And people talk to each other and then start leaving as though the show and dinner are over.
All right. Well, that sure was a thing. You guys want to go check out the next portion?
I was gonna say, where's that? Isn't there a tour?
Yeah, you got about an hour to the tour.
That was not normal, guys. I don't know. That was magic.
I mean, well,
A magic of theater, of course. Yes.
I mean, everyone clapped and applauded. I'm sure that was part of
Clapping means it was meant to be.
Exactly. There was an audience. They played up the theatrics. It was absolutely phenomenal practical effects.
Well, what are you talking about, Mark? What do you mean?
There, when the boy died with the apples, I got a feeling, and I got the same feeling here. I didn't recognize it at first, but when those pumpkins started moaning and their faces changed, it was the same feeling. There's something going on here in this town, and that's when I'm. Go ahead.
The boy dying is a terrible thing, of course. Maybe you're just not over the shock yet.
Well, and that's when I'm gonna finally tell everybody about what I found with the newspapers, that their pets have been going missing, which kind of, and I'll explain, ties into the stories that they told at the library that Virginia lady was using the pets as a sacrifice, and there was a boy that went missing in the corn maze at the Johnson farm.
The Johnson farm that we're staying at?
Yeah, he went into the corn maze, never came back, and the town's hoping he shows up.
It seems like an odd search pattern to take when it comes to a boy's life.
Yeah, they're just hoping he turns up. Well, I mean,
right. I mean, that's exactly what the article said. And I got distracted and didn't bring it up sooner, but there's something going on that's just weird. I mean, so it's just not me being spooked and scared. I mean, I know I have a tendency to get spooked and scared, but there's something going on here.
Are we sure this isn't all just part of the show? I mean, we're not doctors. That boy could still be alive. It could just be a scare and a haunt.
I mean, especially what happened here tonight. The timing was so perfect with the conclusion of the performance that it's. I am definitely of an uneasy feeling at the moment, but I don't know how far down that hole I care to venture at this moment.
Hey, look, I've seen a lot of dead bodies in my time, and I can tell you for sure that that boy is very much real life dead. But I think that the wind that was happening, uh, that it smelled bad. That's got to be on purpose. And I don't know how they got the pumpkins to change, but I watched a guy once pull a card out of my pocket, and it was the card that I picked out of the deck, and I don't know how he did that neither. Um, so I don't know if we got enough information to go off to know whether or not we should be worried. But let's just stick together from here on out, just to be safe.
Oh,
We can't really drive away from here because I'm the only one who can drive, and I'm a little bit deep in my cups right now. So we're kind of stuck here for the time being. Let's go check out. Let's go check out this super haunted place, though. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh yes, it'll be a gas.
Oh, are we
Sure.
are we pretending to feel better now? Okay, I can do this. Break out the booze again. Where's that booze?
Look. Odd smells in a rustic setting are nothing unusual. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yeah, but we haven't.
That was a
It hasn't
terrible
happened
smell.
before.
It kind of turned my.
We just got here.
Just got here.
Give it time.
All right, I will ratchet my worry and my paranoia down, and let's go on the haunted tour. I mean, you're right. What's the worst that could happen?
Just keep your wits about you, Marcus. You have noticed some or you have noticed and found some very interesting information, and just keep your wits about you, and I'm sure we will. You'll be able to let us know if something afoul is happening.
Okay, so let's just keep an eye out for any stray children. It could be poor little Bobby Myron that disappeared.
I pat Marcus what I believe to be a medium amount of strength on the back, but it's probably way too hard, and say, look at the bright side. Everything bad that's happened so far has been happening to everyone else, so chances are we'll be fine.
Make that Constitution check, Shawn.
Yeah, Constitution. Can I roll a Constitution?
Oh yes, bad things don't happen to people like us, after all.
No.
Oh, I get knocked to the ground.
Sounds about right.
Look, everything bad that's ever happened in the newspaper didn't happen to me. So
we are in good hands. Kodi is here as our support and help. We should be fine. And I've been exercising and doing calisthenics for quite a while. All I have to do is make sure that we're all running at the same pace or just slightly faster than the local people. We'll be fine.
Oh, this is true. I'm glad I wore sensible shoes.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, okay. Okay.
Marcus, don't worry so much. Let me help you off the ground.
Reach my hand up.
So this is actually a good
drinking would help with the falling problem.
Drink.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Drinking all that milk, you'd think you could take a hit.
This is actually a good place for us to take a break for today. We'll be back next week. A couple of things. If you have not followed us, please do. If you didn't get gifted a subscription today, you should be jealous of all the people that did and go subscribe yourself.
Is there anyone in here that has not been gifted a subscription?
I have no idea. Feet doesn't have a subscription.
Feet, I think Feet is a bot. They did not argue with it when I called them such earlier.
You can, if you haven't subscribed or you want to up your subscription, you can always do that with Twitch Prime. You get a free subscription if you're a Prime member, an Amazon Prime member. So if you haven't used one, use it here, or head over to Bloo Streams and check out what she's doing over there. It's fantastic and fun. You could go to 12-sided stories.
Yep, that's right.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank goodness. And check out the podcast there. I assume they're available on Apple and the
Yeah,
Google Play
everywhere.
Store as
Yeah.
well.
Spotify,
Cool.
all that good stuff.
No, Cobra Striker, you do not need to follow and unfollow. You're good. You're set now that you've already followed us.
I see you, Cobra
Um,
Striker. I know you follow.
yeah. And then we'll be back on Tuesday. I will be back on Tuesday for Vampire the Masquerade Night Road, which is a choose your own adventure role playing game. It's actually pretty cool. I got to choose my character clan. And I'm a vampire and I murdered some people. Nothing big. But it's a pretty cool adventure. I'm looking forward to it. So come out for that. And then Thursday will be Growing Shadows, where there will be ninjas and some ninja-ing, and hopefully no one dies. I don't know. I hear there's a heist being planned. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes,
Currently.
we need to work on that. Yeah.
And then I'll be here Friday night to play some more Solasta. So come out for that. And next Saturday will be this. So Central Time, 12 p.m. or noon Central Time next week. We'll be back in the town of Willowton for the exciting conclusion when things will get weirder.
Fantastic.
So,
Excited.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, we'll
Thank you
see
guys
y'all
for coming
next
out.
week.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, everybody.